Is it some devil that crawls inside of you?
Like I don't really get attacks before when I drink. So I'm really not getting any like anxiety or panic now. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
What day is it? Fucking
Sunday.
Yeah. Have you had any Sunday scaries today? I kind of felt like I had the Sunday angries today.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, what the fuck?
I think it was in the air because my coworker said she was angry too. She just like woke up like that, and we were just like, every interaction we had to have with a customer was just so fucking annoying.
Well, customers are fucking annoying anyways. I try not to be an annoying customer, but every once in a while I realize, oh, there was an annoying customer in here before me and it ruined you for me, the customer. And that shit sucks. Do you ever do that? You ever like, I was nice and polite and gentle and amazing and they were an absolute twat. No wonder Karens exist.
Yeah.
They just run into enough of those like snarky little like dumb teenagers.
I feel like that happened at Starbucks more than anything.
You feel like the attitude from the baristas like
no, I
goes
mean
to
like
the
when
next
I was
person.
working at Starbucks, I think like that would happen. I would get an attitude with customers even if they were nice because someone else was shitty to me.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah totally. And every once in a while I'll go through somewhere and I'll go I'm kind of done.
You said I was perfectly nice to you. Why are you being
I mean, that's
like
kind of like your ego too, right? It's kind of like my ego where it's like, I was so nice and I was very polite and you were not betrothed to me in that moment. What the hell, bro? Like that's kind of, so I try to like check myself when it's the fuck. I wonder if the mics pick up like that little floppy eared fuck.
I mean, what mics? Just two dudes having a conversation.
That's right, bro. October 23rd, 23 days into Sober October.
And it feels great.
Yeah, you like really took to it this year. First of all, I did not expect you to do it. And every time you say you're going to do it, I'm like, yeah, everyone says. They're like,
I know.
Oh, I feel like doing that. And then it's like October 4th because they can't even fucking pay attention.
Yeah.
And they're just like, too late. And it's like, just don't drink the rest of the month. Don't smoke weed the rest of the month, whatever.
Well, it's just hard. Like with a diet or not a diet, like when you're trying to do a lifestyle change or anything like that, even if you mess up, instead of being like, well, I already fucked up, so, oh well.
Off to the races, you know, and just
you
derail.
should just restart.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But I think that the fact that you don't take Sober October as serious for me as you do yourself was like another motivation to be like, why does he keep being like, oh, it's not a big deal if you don't do it? Because like to me it is. And I don't think that I've ever backed out of Sober October once I said I was going to do it. Like once I've committed and started it, I haven't been like, actually.
Yeah, you know what? And I haven't either. I've never done that where I've done a cop out or like slipped up, which here the thing is too about like when I say it's okay if, first of all, it's no one's business if you
but it's not okay for me.
No, I'm just in the general milieu of like people, just like because I know people that are like, oh no, I already missed it. Oh, it's the 10th and I was drunk, whatever. It's the point of doing like challenges and those things that kind of challenge your resolve is that you're gonna fuck up. You are going to make mistakes. You are not going to do everything in life first try.
Yeah.
And the perseverance to go, I got to get back on that horse or whatever. I got to give it another go is what you're learning.
Yeah.
So if it was difficult for me, like it's always like a little like, oh man, I want to go out for a drink. I miss drinking. It sounds like fun for like the first 9 days. Like even Allie said, she was like, your posts about not drinking make you look like a pansy.
Yeah.
And it was fucking hilarious because I was like, that's why I did it is because like I need that feedback, right?
Yeah, but not a lot of people are going to be honest, like some.
Well, and that's like why you've really got to value those friends that are willing to step on your
Also, we don't have a lot of friends that are
period
completely
right.
What?
Period. Don't have a lot of friends. You're right.
Yeah, that's true. But we don't have a lot of friends that are totally sober like they are. I mean, and it's not even like she's sober in a sense that she drank and then got sober. She just never drank. And I feel like it's nice to have that balance of people in your life, and maybe even more people like that, because we're so surrounded by people that drink all the time.
It is a really nice change of pace when you can socialize with someone and they're just interested in something else.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you're going to have a different interaction. Conversation is going to be different. Might be a lot better. Might be funnier. And I think it just makes you sharper. Makes
You'll
you a better
also
person.
usually always remember your interactions with them.
Yeah, that's true. That's one thing, you know, and not to take away so I think sometimes if life is too tumultuous, you need some interactions you want to forget. And that's one thing about drinking. One good thing about the memory loss that comes in, you're probably doing or saying something stupid from drinking. Good thing you don't remember it, because you can go to work the next day or go to work
See,
on
that's
Monday.
where my anxiety will stem after I've drank. If I think that I possibly did something embarrassing, but it's like foggy in my memory and I can't quite recall.
Yeah.
That's when I like
get a little anxious.
I get super anxious because I'm like, oh God, I never want to see them again. What did I say? What did I do?
See, that's fair. I get that. I've had that. I've done that. It's really, I think that's one of the things that toughen you up and make you like a experienced drinker, or like not an experienced drinker, but a person who can handle themselves when they have a drink or two. You know what I mean? You're not saying things, something, because I pretty much had to give up all my hobbies and interests and pursuits this summer because of my back injury.
Yeah.
And for those of you like Lola here, don't have one herniated disc. I have 4 herniated discs. It is 4 times as much as I thought it was, which explains why it is 4 times as painful as anything else I've ever done or had inflicted on me pain-wise. So that's why I've just been drinking for the last 4 months. But yeah, it kind of, because I was doing it more regularly, I was kind of getting like more regular acting. Because, you know, when you drink once in a while, you're like, yeah, you get to let loose and be free. And you get to, you know, be a weird ass and fucking say things you don't usually say and talk to people you wouldn't usually talk to or whatever, you know, open your mind to, what is that?
Well,
Lola.
If that's her, that was Lola, not me, because that's disgusting. I wasn't smacking my gums into the mic.
Maybe not this time. Yeah. So I kind of like learned to like conduct myself a little more normally, and something that I kind of noticed, I was making some notes here before we walked up, and being sober the short weeks it's been, short like 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not really social, not really as sociable. I'm way more going into the self-checkout lane. I'm, you know, just skipping by. I'm not as friendly in interactions. I noticed, like, I'm very like short and brief, and I'm like, that's all I need, and bye.
Really?
And I don't know, but there is kind of a flip where it's like, if there's someone I might know personally, I might sit down, talk to them a little longer, maybe listen to them a little closer. So there's that. There's a more general, like when I'm drinking, I think it's just cool, just, you know, same with everyone. You know, more social, more like, what's going on? What's going here? You know, I get to like have the liquid courage to just open my big fat mouth with something I'm thinking. You know what I mean? So it's like, this person can be a nobody to me, but I'm thinking something about them, whether it's like a judgment call or like, you know, curiosity, and then I'm asking them, talking to them, and I'm just so not in the mood for any of that shit right now. I'm just like, pass, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I'm spending my time more wisely, and like my interactions are more quality.
Were you just stealing that because I was like motioning that?
Because I couldn't think of the word.
But
a word.
I wasn't trying to cut you off or step on your comment, but I do feel like I'm having more quality interactions. They're fewer interactions overall, but like just kind of sitting at home for the weekend and not going out blowing money. It really, I can't believe how much money I've saved just not drinking. Because I'm just like, payday came and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, me too. Like just going out in general. Because I mean, also I feel like
it's not just the drinking.
Yeah, because then you go out and eat, or
and then you're more impulsively buy something. You're like, oh, I want to go get a pack of smokes or something I would never usually do, or drunk six don't count.
Until you get lung cancer
or emphysema
or COPD.
I heard that's the same thing.
You know what?
It might be.
By golly, it just might be.
Have you felt like a more mental clarity? Because you seem like a lot more receptive to like
I'm
humor.
amazing.
You're so amazing.
I get it. I can laugh at your jokes. No.
Seriously, my favorite thing about this whole month is you are so much more easygoing, which I thought it would be the opposite.
Yeah. I don't know why you think it would be the opposite, because I feel like for the most part, I don't think, just in general, regardless of what people try to convince you, alcohol does not make anyone a better person.
Fair. Have you met someone that you're like, I like them better on alcohol?
No, I've met people that I find easier to talk to if we're probably both drinking.
Yeah, that's
but
the same thing.
then it's like they're not really someone I care to actually be around, obviously, if that has to be the setup of the interaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like a lot better in honestly every type of way. Like mentally, I feel like this is like the first time in probably years where I've been able to like stay on track with goals that I'm trying to reach. Oh
yeah, because you cut out gluten again.
Yep,
like
because
cold turkey.
I'm not supposed to be eating gluten, and for the last couple years I just kind of threw that to the wind.
Yeah, and especially not like the American gluten where it's like really gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. And so I cut that out at the same time as starting Sober October, because I knew that it would be easier, because a lot of times when you're drinking you're like, oh, I need Taco Bell or whatever, it's just like out of convenience. And I've been able to stick with that, and I feel so much better. And I think mine's a mix of everything, obviously, because the gluten causes a lot of the same mental fog and all of that kind of stuff that drinking does.
Yeah, like the inflammation, hangover.
I guarantee that if I just stopped drinking but was still eating the way that I was prior, I wouldn't feel as good as I do. I think it was the
100%.
combination of everything.
And another thing too is almost all things that contain gluten are processed food.
Yeah.
You're not getting whole food. You're not getting healthy stuff. You're not getting nutritious, bioavailable food.
Yeah.
You're getting like packaged, like mishmashed food, and that's not made by hand. It's not made from scratch. It's not made from, select ingredients. It's made from industrial capitalism.
Honey. Oh, she's being so cute.
Yeah.
Lola's sleeping in my lap. But I've been able to not eat gluten. I've been eating healthier. I've been just like moving more, I think, with going to like a workout class, and then just getting out and like doing stuff, like taking her to the dog park, taking her on a walk, going and doing something rather than just like sitting in bed. And also having her has been really nice, because it is such a motivating reason to do something. And it
helps me get out of bed for sure.
And it's so nice to have like a little buddy to do stuff with.
Yeah.
I notice that when I get in the car now and I don't have her with me, I'm like, this is sad. Where is she?
Dog next to you.
Yeah. Like I almost get like, I'm like, oh, I'm anxious.
It definitely takes me out of my own head. I feel a lot more probably introspective and maybe a little gloomier and a little more grouchy when she's not around.
Yeah. Agreed. She's the best. But yeah, I feel really good, and I don't think I'm gonna stop. Wait. I don't think I'm gonna stop not drinking, at least for a while longer. I just think that I'm trying to do it in a way where I'm just not putting any pressure on it whatsoever. I'm not like, as soon as October 31st hits or as soon as November 1st hits, I'm gonna have that drink. I'm trying to like let it just happen naturally, and
when it comes, it comes.
Yeah, and not have it be like a forced thing, because I almost feel, I'm sure we've used this word 1,000 times and there's probably a better word, but I almost feel a bit of like anxiety towards the month being over, of like not having that excuse of like, oh, this is why I'm not drinking this month.
It's kind of easy when it's a requirement. Like you feel like obligated.
Yeah. And because I didn't like how I was last month or multiple months prior, and I'm really enjoying myself right now, and I don't want to slip so quickly back into my old habits.
Hey, I'm enjoying you too.
Thanks. So yeah, just trying to maintain, and I'm just trying to be really nice to myself and remind myself that I'm in a much better place than I have been for a really long time, and that I should keep it up, because I could probably get even better than where I'm at right now.
Yeah, really reach that like potential and kind of just see, this might just be the tip of the iceberg. So
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I feel very present.
Yeah, me too.
And I was honestly getting almost a little sad when I was realizing how close we are to like the end of October.
Yeah.
It's like we got one more week.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
kind of wild.
We could do what my friend Cheyenne is doing, where she's doing Sober October, but she is having a Halloween party. So she's drinking at her Halloween party. And then once that's over, she's continuing to do essentially Sober November until Thanksgiving. Then she'll drink at Thanksgiving. Then she's going to continue to be sober until Christmas. And she said she'll let herself drink at Christmas. I mean, of course she doesn't have to. Maybe she'll change her mind and she won't want a drink then. But
I like that though. You're like, I need to drink. There's going to be family around.
But I mean, you could try that out.
Honestly, not a bad idea. I like the sound of that. I was trying to kind of communicate with myself and say, maybe even like compromise, like, when could I or should I? And I even wrote down here that I don't think I should drink any time ever until I've done something for myself that is good or that will counterbalance in the positive.
Yeah.
You know, and a big part of it is sitting down and writing more. And I think that if I want to go for a drink or go drinking, I have to sit down and write. And I think that it would be much more productive.
Yeah. Use it as like a reward.
Use it as like a reward, or have the writing become the reward. And then you get the drinking out of the way, and then I'm looking forward to writing the next time. Almost. Like,
that sounds like a slippery slope.
like,
maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Like, write, then drink, and then go, oh cool, I get to write again. Or maybe even look back at, I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah.
But I think something that George Carlin used to do when he would write is he would jot everything down sober, and then he would revise it when he was stoned. And it like brought different things to him, and it really like peppered in some things. And I was like, well, shit, maybe the drinking will do that, because you have the thoughts. Obviously you shouldn't drink every time you write, and then if I become a consistent writer out writing every day, drinking's not the way to do it. I'm not trying to turn it into the 1980s Stephen King over here, where it's like Pet Sematary, I didn't even know I wrote that. Why is it in a fucking shoebox over here?
I feel like being stoned makes more sense, but I feel like drunk is different.
Not drunk, but a drink.
Yeah. I also remember when you used to say, like, I don't remember who you got this from, but that you should never drink, or maybe you didn't say this, I don't know, that you should never drink when you're upset. Like, drinking should only be something you do. I think this was something I said, because I got it from somewhere.
Okay.
It should only be used as a celebratory thing, and you should never drink when you're upset, or because you're feeling sorry for yourself, or because you had a bad day. if you're going to have a drink, it should be because you're celebrating something or you're excited about something.
Do you feel like you can get excited again? Like, do you feel excited?
Yeah, that's been a big thing for me, is I think a combination of so many things in my life, like losing my dad and just my mental health, and not taking care of myself, have not allowed me to feel like that
Reward system.
Well, it's just not allowed me to feel that excitement of that you have when you're a kid or you're a teenager. I mean, I think
It's like raw.
normal people have it too, but I just haven't felt that. It was like I knew to be excited about something, and I could tell you like, oh yeah, I'm excited, that's going to be fun. I could look forward to it, but I didn't have that feeling. It was just like there was like that a numbness or a dullness where the emotion should be. And
okay, I relate to that, because you always ask if you're always wondering if I'm excited to do anything, because we'll be going somewhere, see a concert, see a comedian, be doing something, and you're like, are you even okay? Like, is this good that we're doing this? And I'm like, yeah, what are you talking about? This is awesome. I love this.
Yeah.
let's do more of this. But I just show it in a funny way, I guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that could be. I think I might feel it more deeply myself, though. Yeah. Excitement. I think you had actually said this. That's right. The other night with Chris and Allie. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I just feel like I have kind of gained that, feeling or emotion again, which has been super nice. And I also feel like that's really rewarding, because it's just another level of like feeling like I'm truly experiencing things again, and that I'm enjoying it and like soaking it in, rather than it just being something that I get through and then forget about. Yeah, I've been excited for a lot of things. Like my friend Cheyenne and I did a cooking class. It was super cute, but I felt genuinely excited, like that little like butterfly-ish feeling in your stomach you get. And same for like the new Taylor Swift album coming out. Like I was like, that's oh cool. God, like I was like, this is so cool. Like I have something to look forward to. I have a whole new like,
it's a good feeling,
album that I can learn all the words to. It was just very excited. I feel excited for Halloween. I feel excited for like things coming up. Like I have that again, which is nice, because it has been a long time since feeling it, I think, and it feels very genuine.
I'm happy to hear that. Makes me feel very hopeful for just like the future and being better about taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's like, to me, is the most important thing.
Yeah, I think that this Sober October came at the perfect time, and I know I at least really needed it, but I feel that it's been good for both of us. And it feels different than other ones. Like I feel like I needed an excuse to take me out of the habits that I was in, and now I'm like launching myself forward in a very positive direction.
Yeah, previous ones were easy. I was like, oh no, I have to be sober. Like before, it's like I didn't drink every night after work. Yeah. I didn't drink throughout the week, Sometimes I just drink in the weekends or once in a while, and it's like I wouldn't smoke weed, and before I wouldn't even take it seriously enough to buy weed, let alone be smoking it routinely. So
yeah,
it was a little different. I think we're just in a different place in life where first of all, we have the freedom to go. You work at a bar, you're a fucking bartender.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a difficult hurdle for me to like, when I visit you, I want to see you, I want to get a beer, and then I can see you after work, stop right off the exit, say hi, have a drink. It's so easy. It's just
Yeah.
built in. Or it's like, oh, I'm going to Lompoc. I can go to my favorite place, Cold Coast Brewing, who just won bronze in the Great American Beer Festival, I believe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. I love those guys. Mike, Eric,
They
Jason,
haven't even been open for a year, have they?
Nate. I don't know, actually. Yeah, no, I have no idea.
I don't think so.
No,
Maybe they
definitely
have.
not a year,
Yeah.
because just this year I was doing that podcast with
Nate?
Max in the back there
Oh,
of
yeah.
Cold Coast. So that's, I know it hasn't been a year.
That's awesome. That's really impressive.
Yeah. I was really bummed too, because the first time I went in there as October started, didn't even say a word. Nate handed me a full glass of their brown ale, which is my favorite, and they've been out of for like 2 months. I was dying. I wanted it so bad. And that was like the fuck. Oh, this is going to be hard. I cannot do this.
That's
I don't
how
wanna
you
do
know
it.
you have a problem.
Well, it's just so good. I don't have a problem. When something's so good, you can't just rationalize denying yourself, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even remember the last time I got like shit faced, where I was like stumbly drunk. You know what I mean? Or like thrown up drunk.
But
or
I don't
like,
think, that's, now you're just trying to justify. Let's not get into the semantics.
Oh, okay. We don't have to. I'm just saying. Can't wait for a brown ale at Cold Coast. Shout out to them. Love those guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's also one of the social aspects to it is kind of built in and really difficult. You're like, why wouldn't I want to go do the thing where I walk through a door, look to my left, look to my right, and I know people and they say hi, and maybe it's someone I haven't seen in a while, and then you either reconnect or you just see someone and you feel good again because you're like, oh yeah, like you're here, and then again, obviously there is that like, oh my god, it's you again, or oh my god, this fucker's here again. That's when you start recognizing people everywhere you go to drink. That's probably a problem.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a mixed bag when you're in a small town like Lompoc or Los Alamos, where those are the only places you're gonna see anyone you know, because this is the place you know everyone you know. It can be a little tricky. It'd be a little like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Am I seeing you because we're alcoholics, or am I seeing you
Yes.
because this is the only place to go in town that isn't completely shitty?
Yeah. I don't know.
Probably a little bit of both. Definitely a little bit of both. But cool thing about Cold Coast too is they have some non-alcoholic beers there too, which is nice. They have that athletic whatever the fuck one that sweetheart Ashley got me a bunch of cases of.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shouts.
These are also good too. The Lagunitas. I always think it says IHOP. Does it not look like it says IHOP?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hoppy refresher. These things are pretty good. Not mad at them.
I like it. 0 alcohol, 0 calories, gluten-free,
Zero carbs.
no sugar.
There's just potassium in it.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, not even a lot. Fucking 2% of your daily value. You'll probably piss that out before you even absorb any.
Awesome. Yeah, I like these a lot.
Those Heineken ones are great too. They, to me, almost indistinguishable. Actually,
Sure.
I want to do a taste test. That's something I want to do. Is I want to get a regular Heineken, a Heineken Zero, have them back to back, see which, or even do a blind taste test and see which one is like.
We should do that.
Yeah, I'd do that. That'd be nice.
I mean, not me, because,
Oh yeah, you're pure.
gluten.
Perfect. Well, it's actually a gluten reduced beer, so you take like a Pepsi or whatever, you'll be all right. My backs hurt less. I've noticed, like less intensely. It's
Yeah.
still there. It's still chronic.
Of course.
It's
you
still,
have 4 herniated discs. It's
4.
not going
Count
to go
them.
away.
1.
But
2.
that was something that I thought for you, because,
3, 4.
Alcohol does cause inflammation.
And to me, I was like, there's no way that I don't even know. I think that's one of the parts where it's like, this is literally just the alcohol taking over for your thoughts.
Yeah.
I know that alcohol causes inflammation.
Yeah.
I know that it's inflammatory. Sugar, all this is bad for you, and it's not helpful to do if you're injured and recovering from something. But to me, I was like, it's been 4 or 5 months. I can probably drink a little and still recover. It's not going to take everything away. But I think it was compiled with having the NSAID reflex, whatever it's called, where you take ibuprofen, you take Aleve or whatever these non-steroidal anti-inflammatories are, where you take them enough that your body just becomes inflamed as a default anyways, and it no longer works, and it becomes actually like a contributor to a lot of the pain you have. And I was taking that shit like candy, like clockwork, like all the fucking time, which I haven't in many, you know me, I won't do a Tylenol. I won't do that hard shit. You know, if I have a headache or anything, like I'll be like, let me get some food, let me get some water or something, I'll feel better, or a beer. It was, to me, that was like me like going over the deep ends, like, oh, he's addicted to a leaf, and drinking, and just also when you take a leaf that much and you drink, I'm pretty sure you just black out.
No.
There was just something just like beep, skipping. Like I was just like, huh.
I think that you were just drinking a lot, bud.
Well, and because blacking out. There's no way you can't be. The
Aleve on the bottle says that you're not supposed to have more than 3 alcoholic beverages when you're taking it, but that doesn't have anything. It's not because you're going to black out. I was taking
so much that there wasn't enough out of my system before I had 3 alcoholic drinks.
That's not what the warning is for. It's for because it's really hard on your liver and your stomach.
Which is really weird because I got told I had a great liver, like great liver enzymes. No,
that's good. Yeah.
There's no like signs of fatty liver or anything.
That's good. So you also don't want to keep pushing it until there are.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, now I know I'll be good for a little bit. I know I got some wiggle room, some tequila room.
That's
your tamale timer?
Tamale timer.
Oh, all right. Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll take a break. What kind of tamales you make?
Pork and chicken.
And so carnitas and pollo?
Pollo.
Nice. Yeah. These are from the cooking class you took?
Yes. Let's shout out to Grandma Ingrid's cooking classes in AG. It's the cutest thing I've ever done. Everyone should sign up, although I don't think they need any more publicity because I've heard that almost all their classes sell out super quick.
What's AG?
Oh, Arroyo Grande.
That's right, Arroyo Grande, Central Coast, California. San Luis Obispo County, SLO County. Also county known for the murder of Kristen Smart and conviction of,
Paul
Flores.
I
think Monterey County convicted him. Or is it Kings County?
It was Monterey County. Oh.
In Stockton? Stockton's in Monterey County?
No. That's where Kristen was born.
Oh, I thought
That's where her family lives.
That's right. I don't know what's going on with that stuff anyways.
Yeah, but the cooking class was so cute. I want us to do one. Like, it is such a cute date idea.
That is a cute date idea.
And also just the warm... It's so nice to just meet nice people. And they were such sweet people and such a cool little, like, family. I felt like I was back in Tennessee.
Oh, they were white?
Yeah.
Or black?
No, they were white.
Oh.
But it had nothing to do with that. More just like their family values and the home cooking of it all.
Yeah, just felt like really...
Because I feel like Mexican culture here... Oh, no. Hold on 1 second.
Speaking of, are Mexicans chewing the mic cable? You better
Lola?
stop. Hey.
No.
Knock it off.
Perfect. Okay. Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. Anyways, Mexican culture, families cook together. You know, moms teach their daughters how to cook. I think that's all really nice. They cook on holidays. They make the tamales together.
Yeah, I didn't even know till I was a goddamn adult that tamales were like a holiday-centered thing.
Yeah. And then, but I feel like over here on the West Coast, white families, they don't give a fuck about cooking. And they certainly don't really give a fuck about like family traditional cooking or like teaching your family to cook or cooking all together.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's as much of a thing. And it was in Tennessee. Like I remember friends and family, like it was really nice to, you know, show. I had a friend who lived like on a farm, and like her mom showed us how to cook a lot, use stuff from the farm, and it was really nice.
I can't wait to arrive at a place in our life where the majority, if not completely, what we're putting into our bodies is something like we're providing.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be.
And not just providing via grocery
so
store,
cool.
but like something that is provided like a lot more farm to table.
Yeah.
Whether it's our farm, our ranch, whichever it is.
Yeah.
To have that. I think that's something that I really want to implement in life and have
Me
a
too.
lifestyle for.
Me too. I want a little garden, and I want chickens, and
I want
a
to
cow
fucking
so I
murk
can make my
coyotes
own
that come anywhere
butter.
near us. And yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this family was just very cool. Like they were super helpful, super welcoming, and actually one of their main things, and something that Grandma Ingrid herself taught a lot before they started doing this, was how to stretch your food dollar. So they and just how to be extremely resourceful, and also how to like save food or make food last long, proper food storage and safety and all of that. And I think that's so cool, because that's not anything that I learned growing up.
Hell no.
I've learned,
Same here.
I've learned things here and there from obviously working in food service industry, like having to take those classes. You learn about food safety, but not like food storage, how to pickle stuff, how to dry stuff.
Yeah, there's people who are like actually prepared
Yeah.
for the food shortages instead of people
How to home make things,
Yeah.
and then like store it away. Yeah, all that, like that's so cool. That is such an incredible skill to have.
It's probably so rewarding.
It is.
too.
Oh, totally. And that's, I just feel like you could sense that, like I just loved the vibes that
Yeah.
they were giving off. But that's something that I would love to do, is even taking this tamale class. Like I was thinking as they were teaching, I was like, wow, this would be so cool for me to make like around Christmas time, like, and I would feel so good at the thought that like I took this class, I learned how to make them, and now I'm making them for my family.
Isn't that so nice? That's kind of how I feel like with how rewarding life can be, and something. Man, I just this whole past year is really, I think I've learned a lot, and learned a lot about myself too. Not to be so like after school special, but
Hey, that's what life's all about, right?
it really is. And I think just kind of reaching potentials,
Yeah.
really opening my eyes.
Yeah.
You know, being able to provide people electricity, or like making, you know, just little things that used to be common sense, just like packaging food, saving food, food storage. Like
Yeah.
people just used to learn basic electrical in high school.
I know. I feel like
What the I was looking at a post I made after high school, and it was like, these are the things I learned: how to sleep sitting straight up, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, being yourself will not actually get you a girlfriend, and
Ain't that the truth?
where to hide when there's a school shooter. Like, I didn't learn anything about taxes. I didn't learn anything about writing a check. I didn't learn how to, you know, file taxes. I didn't know anything about real estate, or how to make a down payment, or orchestrate anything that is actually something I had to learn. And everyone just makes you feel so stupid
so tamale
when
time,
you're
right?
an adult, and you're like, oh, your parents are
Yeah,
like,
how do you
"Wow,
not know this?
And I'm like, how
are you functioning?
Yeah, and I'm just like,
you
well, I was
didn't
waiting for
teach
someone
me.
to teach me, just like everything else they made me fucking
Yeah,
learn
how
was
did
bullshit.
you
and-
guys? That's how I feel about a lot of things, because I think as I've gotten older, I'm realizing how much I have to fucking learn and how much I don't know. And I'm finally getting to that age where it's like, oh yeah, you don't know everything. Just because you're 26, you still don't know shit. So then I'm looking at people even younger than me and I'm like, seriously? Like I'm finally getting to that old person stage. Not really, but to that stage where you're like, no, really, you don't know anything yet. And I remember my dad used to tell me that all the time. Like, I know it's annoying, but I'm older and I just know. I just know more than you do.
It's heartbreaking.
Like, no, you don't.
That's what, and you know what? And that's why you find out the reasons people have crow's feet. And, you know, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The more
You
feet, the
learn
more
some
you
shit.
know. Yeah. But really, I'm like, you don't know fucking shit because I don't even know shit. And I'm not a stupid person and I like to learn things. But there's so much that I have to learn, which is also exciting.
It is.
And I also feel that I'm finally at a place where I want to learn things.
Yeah, where was this person when I was in school? When I was in school, all I wanted to do was fucking rip my face off.
Yep.
I hated being there. Learning was bullshit. I was like, I'm smarter than everyone in this class. They're stupid. And then the dumb kids would get better grades than me because I didn't take it seriously. And then that hurt. And now I'm like an actual like autonomous adult, and I feel like my actual what it is for me has been the Stratera. That's in the last year the reason I think I've been so like. But
the fact that you even came to the conclusion that you wanted to do something to help yourself be a more focused human being is a huge thing in itself.
It is. I came to this conclusion about 12 years ago. It just took that long to finally talk to a doctor.
Okay.
So.
Well, but you know what I'm saying is like that was
course.
the first step, and you did that without the medication.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's been a huge help and you need that, and that's good. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that about you a lot too, just because I've watched you change and grow so much that like I seriously sometimes just sit there and I'm like, dang, if Dallas that I met could see himself now, like you are such a different person. I mean, there are so many things about you that are just you.
Maintained, yeah.
Yeah, that are who you are, but you have changed. I don't think I've ever seen anyone change as much as I've seen you change. And it's been really cool. And I'm really proud of the person that you are, and I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
And it's because I mean, something I've always appreciated about you, aside from maybe like 1 year in our relationship, is that you do like changing and you always seem to be trying to find a way to make yourself a better person. And I think that's a rare thing, or people don't know how to do it and they don't, or they give up. I don't know, but you don't. You are very willing to change, and it's nice to be with a partner like that because it's not a scary thing. Because you hear like change being such a scary thing in relationships, because usually there's distance created, and I don't feel like that's ever happened between us. Even if there is, like for a little bit, it's just like growing pains, and we adjust and learn from each other, and that's really cool.
I mean, the thing is, change is really scary, but I've also seen how scary it can be when people don't change, and when things don't change, and when they stagnate.
Totally.
And growing pains are painful, but the loneliness of being without someone is way more painful. Like it truly is. A whole lot of my philosophy has come down to, which difficulty do you want? Do you want like the difficulty of being fat, out of shape loser that can't stand to look at himself in the mirror, or do you want to have the difficulty of being more squared away with your diet and physical activity?
Yeah.
And I like who I am when I'm disciplined enough to choose the path of resistance, the path of difficulty that I know is going to be, it's going to be better for me in the long run.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that for a long time. I didn't understand that. I didn't put any faith into it, and I put a whole lot of energy into negative directions or just empty directions. And it was very directionless, and it was super difficult to find something that I would put my all into and put energy towards. And
felt that.
There's been a couple things that I was seeing results in, and it made me realize that I and myself alone is the person I need to rely on and to push and pursue a better place I want to be. Yeah.
It's funny because this will probably come off wrong, but just truly how I felt. I think also just as a woman, I have always felt like, oh, I mature quicker than you do, of course, and I'm emotionally and just in general like more adapted than you are. I mean, and it's funny because that maybe used to be the case where like I got a job quicker than you did. I like maybe had more responsibilities in the beginning of our adulthood quicker than you did.
Yeah.
However, I think you surpassed me and I really got stuck and have been struggling for a long time with like, oh, what is my direction? What am I doing? I don't know. And not feeling like essentially I can complete anything. I felt like very useless, and like even things that I really wanted for myself, I couldn't achieve them for myself on my own. And I think you had that realization a while ago and a lot sooner than I did in your younger adulthood, and it's been really good for you. Like you have, I think, done a lot of cool things with the jiu-jitsu and your podcast and being in the shape you want to be in and having a great career and, you know, climbing up in that career. And I was just stuck, and I still kind of am, but I also feel like I finally am just doing little things where I'm like, oh, I can do it. It's not necessarily easy and it takes effort, but it also feels really good.
It does.
It feels so good.
So good.
Like I finally feel like, I don't know what I thought those little things were going to feel like or like what it was. I don't know if I was like, oh, if I have to make this much money and then it'll feel like I'm doing something. And that maybe was like the only thing I could see or think would be of value. But I think I'm seeing there's so many other little things that you can do and achieve and goals you can set for yourself. And if you just do it, it really does feel good. And it's almost exciting to keep realizing, like, it's like completing a puzzle where you're like, it's hard to get going, but once you get going, it just kind of keeps falling into place. And you're like, oh yeah, this is perfect. This is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it can seem a little monotonous, but once you sift through the pile, you will find a connection between some two pieces or two components of your life, and then you just build off of that. And sometimes you're going to be like, oof, I need a break, and you'll take a break, come back to it. You know, everyone needs a little break, and sometimes it's a little easier for others, and so you just got to find your strengths. And I know that's so, like, oh my god, here we go again, fucking find your strengths, what are they? You know, it's super stereotypical, or like what's
cliche?
What I'm looking for. Yeah, thank you, cliche. And but there are things that I'm finding, like, oh, I have strengths in this way, I will use those to my advantage and show them. And being open, being receptive to new things, I think has been such a valuable and hard lesson learned.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid and when I was growing up, I wanted to do what I wanted to do and nothing else. And it was not good, was not helpful.
No.
I look back and I go, I should have stayed in sports. I should have tried harder in skateboarding. I should have focused in school. Like, there was all of these little things and all of these little, I was not a very disciplined kid, whether it was from my parents, from the adults around me, or just from my peers.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to
We've had this conversation. That's like, I mean, that's how I feel too. It's like,
I think it's something we really relate on heavily.
I wish that we could have learned that in our in our childhood.
Yeah, then we could be like millionaire CEOs right now.
Yeah, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, past life trauma or something, have been forced to learn it in adulthood, which I think is a little harder, because
I'm even more stubborn now.
Yeah, but also just like, because you see all these people around you, you're like, but how are they at that point in their life? Like, how are they there and I'm here and I cannot figure out how to like break that wall down to do what I need to get where they're at. Not that I'm trying to like, not even in a competitive type of way, or like a just for myself.
Yeah, just for and you do compare no matter what.
But
It's impossible
like,
not
just
to sometimes.
not feeling good about where you're at in life and not being happy where you're at in life for yourself, and being like, how are they where I want to be? Like, what did they do and how come I cannot figure it out? I think that I lost my train of thought.
Sometimes I'd see people doing things and it looked like they were like really going far.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to do that. That sounds miserable.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at that does not seem like happiness. That is not a goal I want to be reaching or be met. And I used to like something that still kind of fucks me up is I will see people go do things like for vacation or something, or they'll go do like adventures. And I'm like, how much money did that fucking cost you?
Yeah.
That blows my mind. Because when I was growing up, there was no vacations. We did not go on family vacations. There was no big outings. There was 2 times, I will give my family that. There was 2 big times. It was great. We went to Disneyland and we went to Universal Studios.
Nice.
That was it.
Yeah.
There was no big camping trip. There was no out-of-state trip. There was no big road trip. There was no RV. There was no, like... we didn't
even go like out of the city to see family on holidays.
That's depressing. We did that. We definitely did that.
Wow.
But, sorry, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
It's that love I had maybe pushed me along a little further.
Maybe. I've got to get the tamales out.
Go get the tamales. Sorry. We'll come back. That was fast, by the way.
Yeah.
How are the tamales?
I think they're perfect. I'm excited to eat them.
I'm excited to have some too. What does chicken say?
Chicken?
Lola. We call her chicken for everyone that doesn't know. Thank you.
No thoughts.
Well, that is a chihuahua for you. Just one more thing on the whole like philosophy part of it, of like progress we've made, is I think you kind of adapted this too, and it really is something I'm a big fan of, and I love to see the growth you've made as well. And
thanks.
And like, it's not to say that you will not also just lap me or surpass whatever you think
I'm working on
I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely achievable, because same thing that I do.
Yeah.
I just look at someone and I go, that knucklehead can do it. I can fucking do it,
Yeah. I'm also not trying to make it a competition. I just was like...
That helps me sometimes, though. When I look at someone and I go, okay, fuckface idiot pants did it. I'm like twice as smart and two times as handsome. So, I'm like, damn, I could definitely do this. Mm-hmm. So
I've never been very competitive. I think that if anything, it just made me really insecure. And instead of that being like a motivator to figure it out, it kind of caused more issues and kept me down for a while, which, I mean, that's my own doing, of course. I let it keep me down. And I think hopefully now I can, I say I think a lot, but I think I can take that experience that I've had now, and hopefully that will never happen again. And so I don't get insecure and I just say, oh, I want to do that too.
That's a really, that brings me to like this point that I want to make. Mm-hmm. I know how bad it feels to not compete. And I know that would feel so much better to just be in second place or lose compared to not competing. Because I've sat by the sidelines of life before and watched people succeed and watch people kick ass. And I've also participated and done worse than I thought than I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I guarantee the doing worse than I wanted to felt so much better than not fucking doing anything, sitting on the bench of life.
Yeah.
So to speak.
And
to be sports.
You're right, because that's gotta be a philosophy in that Atomic Habits book, I'm sure.
Oh, I believe
but
it. That's so crazy. I looked it dead ass in the fucking spine as I was walking up here to do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's my mom's copy. You are so right, and actually I think that you just saying that is something that will really stick with me. I've been trying to live my life a little more with that philosophy, not even in like achieving things, but also just doing things and having experiences. Like I have been
a cooking class with your friend.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
Or going to the Comedy Store last minute because I was invited, and like, why not when you have a free ticket?
And I was pushing you to it because that's exactly what I.
But I've had such a hard time doing that because I mean, that's just something that I was born with, is just the overthinking and anxiety. I mean, that's genuinely. There wasn't even, I don't think, a circumstance in my life that created that. I couldn't tell you that ever since I was a little kid, I was overthinking things that I shouldn't have been because I was a little kid. Like, why was I so worried about it? And it hasn't gotten me anywhere. I've missed out on a lot of things. I know that. And I bring it up all the time, but it's the biggest thing that's ever happened to me. My dad passing away, and
it's your focal point. It makes a lot of sense.
It is. I mean, it is such a focal point in my life.
I think death will do that to a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And him, you know, in his last days, going over some things that he wished that he had just done was horrible to hear, but also
it was eye-opening. Yeah,
I think now that I can reflect on it a little more, I think that I can choose to use it as a lesson, and like him giving me advice like, hey, just do it, because what a surreal moment to know you're about to die and be like, oh, I wish we would have just done this. I wish I would have taken time to be with my family more, or not worked as much, or gone to that concert that you wanted to go to, or that I wanted to go to. You're always going to wish you had done things. It's impossible to do everything you ever wanted, but you can surely do more if you just allow yourself to.
If not for yourself, things. Just do it for him, because he can't do those things.
Well, and that's a huge thing that I think has helped me recently. I didn't have anyone to do anything for aside from myself, which I don't find that very motivating, unfortunately. I'm trying to change that narrative.
Yeah, you got to be a little more, not selfish, but self-improving or self-attentive.
Yeah. But I haven't. And so using him as like, whether it's true or not, I try to tell myself like, he wants me to do this, and like he allowed this opportunity to arise so I could do it, so I need to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that has been a really helpful thought for me. And just, yeah, I like it. It works.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
I'm really proud of you to see how far you've come and how you've handled the process of grief with losing your parent at such a young age.
Thank you, honey.
You know, it's never easy, I'd imagine.
No, I have met plenty of older people who like recently lost their parent, and they seem just as devastated.
Yeah, I'm I want to phrase this carefully, but I'm looking forward to talking to my friend who just lost his dad recently.
Oh, yeah.
And just to see, you know, if there's any like chunks of friendly wisdom that I could pluck from you, or even you can do this, and share, and just, you know, just comfort a friend.
I think that, well, it's so hard because,
not to make myself sound so amazing.
Did you hear that? I said, I think. What is the deal?
You know,
I hope it's one of those things that only I'm picking up on, but I know, especially since I pointed it out.
There's a drinking game happening right now. Someone's listening to this going, oh, get another shot.
Don't sue me when you're in the hospital for alcohol poisoning.
They're going to be so blacked out, they're not even going to remember. And then someone's like, I think you've... And then they're going to be like, oh, fuck!
It's going to be Mr. Crab. Something that was very helpful for me, and that would have been even more helpful had more people done it, is just asking me questions about my dad. Not about like how he died or what kind of cancer he had, but questions about him or our family or our relationship, or asking me to tell them a story about him, or just letting me share a story or short stories, never making me feel annoying because I keep referencing him, or feeling uncomfortable because I'm talking about him, because I have had that more times than you'd think, which I don't. I feel like people that make you feel uncomfortable for talking about a loved one that passed away have either never experienced it or have some sort of psychological issue that they need to work through.
Yeah, they're probably just inexperienced or uncomfortable. They're not emotionally mature enough to handle something like that.
Because, and I actually read something, I think, unfortunately, shortly after my dad passed, I lost one of my childhood best friends, Lainey. And I remember her mom sharing something on Facebook that essentially said, like, when someone that you love has died, people around you will try not to bring them up because they think that it'll upset you. But really, it's more upsetting when you're around people and it feels like they've forgotten the person that you love.
Yeah, I'm kind of guilty of that, to where I'm like, should I not say anything or bring this person up, because everyone around me, like in this house, is devastated and permanently affected by it.
But we're never not thinking about it. And it's so much nicer to share stories or tell a joke and think of all the positive times and the happy times than it is to like go about life pretending like he didn't exist or it didn't happen, you know, because it's just not true.
Yeah.
And it's never not on my mind or not on my family's mind, I'm sure. So
it took me a while, but I go try and visit my grandma pretty consistently, and it took me, I'd just probably say after losing John was where I had the wherewithal to kind of ask her about my grandpa. Ask her more.
And I'm sure she loves to talk about it
so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I talk to her, I get to like build this whole new history. And I got to do the same thing, not to brag, with my dad on Father's Day this year. Where I got to talk to him about how he met my mom. And I realized I never really heard his side of the story.
Yeah.
Because I didn't grow up with him in the house all the time.
Yeah.
You know, my parents went through 2 different separations when I was growing up. So when I was a really young kid, really young kid, I only saw him on weekends. And then when I was a teenager, I only saw him once a month, you know. So there was this like, this idea of the stories I've learned that only exist on my mom's side. And I got to get his perspective, and it's so fun to hear something like a memory or someone's story that is like, he just came alive and told it so well, and you can tell that.
And you don't get to fact check because it already happened. and it's
it just
their
doesn't
story.
And it's like there's funny parts
Yeah.
and you know, and I learned what kind of truck he used to drive when he was would do like freight diesel truck, I don't know, semi trucks or whatever. And it I think like if someone has information about someone that only they know, figure it out, pull it out of them. You gotta ask them. I would love to talk to my sister about John too. You know, not in front of her boyfriend, obviously.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of, that's a hard situation. And of course, like I said, everyone's gonna be different. Maybe some people, it's just too hard for them to think about stuff. Like, you never know. But I find more often than not, you're never not thinking about a person that you lost, which is horrible because that's kind of how life works. You just keep losing people. And so it's like, damn, like I've lost him and now I have to go through the rest of my life having lost him, and it's just always going to be on my mind. That's okay though, because it's got to be. But talking about him is so nice. And like, same with your dad. I love to ask my dad stories about his childhood. Like, I remember driving through Santa Barbara with him and him telling me all about his high school days and playing music with his friend Mitch in the like what do you call those things, parking garages, because of the acoustics, and being at the park, and just all kinds of stories, and working at the record store and seeing Joe Walsh and going to a party with Joe Walsh, and all, like, I loved hearing my dad tell stories. And same with my mom. I love hearing my mom's stories, and it's so fun to ask her about my grandparents on her side, her parents, because they both passed away before I was born. And I mean, obviously for a majority of my life, I didn't ask her because I didn't know to ask her.
Yeah.
But I have learned so much to the point where I feel like a connection with
Like,
those grandparents, even though I don't. And it's also made me understand and
it's
appreciate my mom
these
more.
people are normal like we are.
Yeah.
They do things that we go, oh shit, I probably, or maybe you'll hear something and you're gonna go, oh my god, I'm going through that right now. And then you have that wisdom, you can pull it out and you can apply it to yourself, and you can follow some sort of path, and you or maybe not make the mistake they made, or maybe correct a mistake you're making, or you know, I love that.
Yeah.
That variety of life so much. And
me too.
Just to see like people kind of come to life, getting to talk about something they only know, and something that might just die with them. So gotta be careful.
I mean, like the times that you've talked to my grandpa and you've asked him about like the military, and he lights up. I mean, we know he doesn't care to have a conversation that much.
Yeah.
Especially with me.
Oh yeah. It's pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah. But the times where you've asked him, or even that time that you and Justin were over at the house and you guys were talking about cars and the military and all of that, he was lit up.
So
I've never
excited.
Like, he was so happy.
You're like,
and he probably
you're
could have
interesting
talked
and
forever.
nice and fucking can do this. Where's this guy been my whole life?
And it sucks because my grandma could be that way too, and she was a fun storyteller. And I remember, I mean, just a couple years ago, sitting in the living room with my grandmother and my grandfather, and them, you know, simultaneously telling stories. Unfortunately, she's given up on talking.
That bums me out, because I can see like when I say things and we like look at each other and she goes,
yeah.
I love that.
So, but it's so fun. Anyways, all to say, I believe the best thing that you can do for a friend who is going through the grieving process and just lost someone very important to them is to ask them questions about that person, so they can tell stories that they love to share about that person, and share good memories and relive it. And it just feels good. And it feels good that someone cares, because it makes you feel like another person cares about a person that you really love.
Yeah, it's really validating and makes you happy in spite of losing them.
Yeah.
There was this movie I watched when I was probably 15, 16 years old, and it really crushed me. It really tore me up because I was not on good terms with my dad in that portion of my life. And it was called, it was kind of a wordy title. I think it was, When Did You Last See Your Father?
Oh,
and
that sounds sad.
It was really sad, and it bummed me out, and it made me kind of like reflect and just hope that one day like the dynamic between my dad and I would eventually reconnect and strengthen.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful it has, because the dad I've known is not the same person, and I've gotten to know many different versions of this same human.
Yeah.
There was the dad when I was, a little kid. There was a dad when I was a teenager, and there was a dad when I was a young adult, and there was a dad now that I'm, closing in on 30.
Yeah.
So that's a totally different dynamic, and
Absolutely.
I would hate to not have the depth of history and personality and just any of that with him.
Yeah. You've done such a good job. I remember when we first started dating, and that was such a big concern for you, is not having a relationship with your parents. I remember specifically you always said, like, I'm just really scared that one of my parents is going to die and I'm not going to have any like happy memories with them. More specifically your mom, I think that was the case, because I know you had happy memories from childhood with your dad. And you, I just think, have done such an amazing, like, that's a lot of work to repatch your relationship with people, but especially parents, because they're your parent. And I think that feeling let down by them or having a strained relationship is a really difficult and serious thing. And it takes work from both of you. But as a kid, it's easy to be like, fuck you.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, you see it all the time.
I was giving my mom a hug today when I was leaving, and I remember there was a number of years where I didn't hug her at all, living in the same house with her. Like, that was not happening. You
guys wouldn't even talk.
Fuck
sometimes.
No.
Like,
yeah.
It was so awkward, and it was so weird to me because I never had that type of relationship.
And then it was weird to me because you text your mom every hour, every day.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I'm like, why the fuck won't she leave you alone?
Yeah.
Or why won't you leave her alone, or vice versa?
Yeah.
Or, because I'm like, that's way too much communication. Even now, I'm like, my mom texted me. She's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. And I was like, it's been a week. What are you talking about? Like, give me some space, lady. You crazy,
Sure.
So that's another...
Yeah, but it's been cool to watch you, like, get to know your parents and form these whole new relationships with them, and really great relationships. And I've really appreciated getting to know both of them as well.
Well, I can thank you in part of that, because one night I came home after I'd thrown this burrito, and I was on acid, and I was really upset, and I think that was like
a pivotal moment.
It would be kind of a pivotal moment for me and my mom.
You're welcome. It's the least I could do.
I appreciate it.
It was actually the plan all along.
You really are
a saint.
Yeah, if only.
Well, I am.
That's a story for another time.
Mm-hmm. I feel that it has been told on here, has it not?
I'm pretty sure it has. I don't know. Maybe someone will ask.
We've probably said all this exact same shit on another episode.
Yeah, but there's people who are just listening for the first time.
I know, I'm kidding.
I hope. I hope I have a new listener. Jesus. I've been kind of slowing down on the episodes. That's
okay.
That's one
Hey,
difficult thing
I'm
about
not
having a
supposed to-
full-time job.
Yeah, and I'm not supposed to talk to the audience, but if any of you are out there listening and you have an apartment or a house that you want to give us
Yeah.
for $200 a month,
Oh my god. Right.
we're here
Even
and we're ready.
300 each would be 600 even. Oh man, remember we paid $600 each?
Yeah, I
for
would
an
do that again in a
apartment?
heartbeat.
That was amazing. Yeah, but no roommate because I would strangle and murder a roommate.
Yeah, we're ready to live on our own.
Oh,
We've never
man.
gotten an opportunity to do that.
Well,
And
I wonder what it's like to live on our own. I think literally
Probably so sexy.
I was gonna say probably pretty fucking sexy.
Were you going to?
I was gonna say 6 months in, you're literally walking into like just
I'm pregnant.
What?
You said 6 months in, and I said I'm pregnant.
No, 6 months in, you're just gonna be walking into this like beautiful space of artistic self-expression and orgy.
Ooh, sounds and little Lola.
Yeah, and little Lola, little Chihuahua, little Chola.
Chichi, little chicken girl. Yeah, but
Shout out to a real estate agent out there.
yeah, shouts out to you. Thanks for all your hard work. No, but really, I'm like, it's not happened yet, and it's not an easy thing to achieve currently, especially in California. But I'm choosing to look at it in a way where it's something we haven't been able to do yet, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to when you and I live together. Just you and me and chicken.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be super fun. And I think there's going to be a lot of even more growth and like closeness.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I can't wait to just be naked that
Mm-hmm.
much of the day.
Yeah.
Clothes are weird. I hate clothes.
Yeah,
Do you
clothes is weird.
Do you want to live in a nudist colony? Do you think there's apartments there?
No.
Oh. Well.
Just like mud yurts.
Mud yurts.
That's what I imagine.
All right. Let's wrap this up. Go have some tamales.
Okay. Yes, we got to try my tamales, not our tamales, my tamales.
Cool. Congratulations on being sober. I hope you've had a lovely sober October.
I have, and I hope you have too.
Thank you. And for everyone listening that likes stand-up comedy, November 4th, I'm going to be at Stages in Lompoc.
Woo! That's where we met.
That's where I met Kyleigh. That's where me and Kyleigh met. And spent happily ever after for a year, and then broke up, and then got back together, and then spent the next 7 or 8 years together, and now we're looking for an apartment. Yeah, I'm gonna be at a comedy show at Stages. First Friday funnies at the
Stages
Lompoc, 7
there.
p.m.
Or be square.
November 4th. Buy me a drink. All right, bye guys.
Bye.